This day in time. What happened today, years ago?
Operation Ariel in the Lancastria, June 1940.
Okay, for our final deep dive, we're going back slightly to World War II, June 1940. This is a period maybe overshadowed by the famous Dunkirk evacuation, which had just finished. But there is another massive evacuation effort, Operation Ariel. And within that, a truly horrific but lesser-known tragedy involving the ship HMT Lancastria.
That's right. Dunkirk mainly evacuated troops from the beaches near the Franco-Belgian border. But after France collapsed, there were still tens, hundreds of thousands of British and Allied troops, plus civilians, stranded further south in western France. So Operation Ariel was launched to get them out. It ran roughly from June 15th to June 25th. Ships were sent to ports like Cherbourg, Saint-Malo, Brest, Saint-Nazaire, La Rochelle. It was actually incredibly successful in many ways.
How many people did they manage to rescue?
They got about 200,000 soldiers out and maybe around 20,000 civilians too. A huge number considering the circumstance.
But amidst this success, there was this awful event with the Lancastria. What happened there? It was around June 17th, wasn't it? Just before our focus date, but part of this same crucial period.
Yes, June 17th. The HMT Lancastria, a former ocean liner pressed into service as a troop ship, was anchored off the coast of Saint-Nazaire. It was absolutely crammed with people, soldiers, RAF personnel, civilians, women, children, desperate to escape the advancing German army.
How many people are we talking? The numbers seem uncertain.
They are uncertain, tragically so. Official records weren't kept in the chaos. Estimates range wildly from maybe 5,000 up to possible 9,000 people crammed onto a ship designed for far fewer. Then, German bombers attacked. The Lancastria took several direct hits and sank incredibly quickly, reportedly in just 20 minutes.
20 minutes, with thousands on board. The loss of life must have been
Staggering. Again, exact figures are impossible, but it's generally accepted that at least 3,000 people died. Some estimates go much higher, maybe 4,000, 5,000, even more. To give you some perspective, that's more lives lost than on the Titanic and the Lusitania combined. It's Britain's worst single maritime disaster ever.
But you said it's lesser known. Why? If it was that catastrophic.
Well, what's really striking, you find this in the sources, is that the British government under Winston Churchill immediately suppressed the news. They put a D notice on it, basically censoring the story.
Why on earth would they do that?
The timing. This was June 1940. France had just fallen. Britain stood virtually alone. Invasion seemed imminent. Churchill feared that news of such a massive disaster would absolutely crush public morale at the most critical moment imaginable.
So it was deliberately kept quiet.
Yes. For years, really, it became this sort of forgotten tragedy. Of course, the survivors and families knew, but it wasn't widely reported or acknowledged. It's a really stark reminder, isn't it, of the hidden costs of war, the things that don't always make the headlines.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more history daily.